Today we'll be looking at Tomahawk for the Apple IIGS. It was created by John Brooks and released in 1987. It was among the first commercial games available for the IIGS and the only flight simulator to ever be available for that system. It's a 16-bit successor to the original version and offered enhanced graphics and amazing sound. The box came with a nice informative manual, but what was really cool is it came with a nice poster of the AH-64A Apache helicopter, and according to the manual, the Apache was designed to be the deadliest chopper in the sky. So upon booting up the game, we start to hear some very nice intro music composed by Thomas J. Clement, which then reveals one of the first 3200 color images that were available on the IIGS. Take a listen. Starting the game, we're presented with a few basic options such as our control method, and I recommend using the joystick to steer and fire, and keyboard shortcut keys for everything else. The next screen allows you to customize weather conditions, pick the mission number, and set the difficulty setting for the game. Now, first things first, to get off the ground you have to increase your engine torque and collective. Now there are 4 radar icons you need to pay attention to. The H finds nearby helipads, the helicopter icon finds enemy choppers, the waves identify beacons, and the all-important satellite locates enemy ground targets. Pressing down or up toggles between the different ground targets nearby. Now in Mission 2, enemy ground forces have invaded Allied territory, 4 sectors in total. There are 8 ground forces you have to destroy in each sector. Now there's a map that shows you your location and which sectors are under attack. They're the ones that are blinking. It also shows you enemy helicopters and their positions. There are 3 weapons in your arsenal: 8 heat-seeking Hellfire missiles, 38 rockets, and 1200 chain gun bullets, all of them producing very nice sound effects. So now I'm going to track a nearby enemy ground force unit and destroy it. I typically use Hellfire missiles until I run out of them, and then I go to rockets. Now while you're preoccupied hunting down all these ground forces, you'll be alerted if an enemy helicopter is close by. Once you get the alert, you want to change your radar icon to be a helicopter, hone in on the enemy, and destroy it. To increase speed, you dive down and decrease it by climbing up. If you exceed 180 knots, your speed warning light will go off. If you exceed 210 knots, you'll shed your rotor blade and spiral out of control to your death. Now there are many ways to die in Tomahawk. The manual lists 15 in total. Believe it or not, most of those are caused by pilot error. Let me show you just a couple. So once you've destroyed all 8 enemies in a sector, the sector will stop blinking and you can make your way to the next sector. Since traveling between these sectors can take several minutes, the game actually allows you to fly in an accelerated travel mode. Just be careful you know where you're heading before entering into this mode, as you might be running right into a tank or a helicopter. You've probably noticed that the graphics resemble more of an 8-bit game than a 16-bit game. They use wireframe vectors that can only be seen in detail if you fly really close to an object. Being such an old 2GS game, I'm not surprised, and couple that with the fact that the 2GS ran at 2.8 MHz and no accelerator cards were available at that time, Tomahawk really did the best it could. So if you get shot or you're running low on fuel or ammunition, you should head to the nearest Allied helipad for refueling and repair. Landing is not an easy feat in Tomahawk, and oftentimes you'll be under attack while trying to get a good position to land, and it just makes matters worse. My strategy is to kill any enemy choppers that are around. Even if they're like 5 miles out, I'll just wait for them and kill them, and wait for the nearest one to be like 10 miles out. Then I try to make my descent. I try to get as close to the center of the helipad as possible, and then come to a complete stop in air, and slowly reduce my collective and my torque, and change my position as needed. I can't tell you how many times I've been trying to land after incurring damage, only to have my chopper totally shut down like a few feet away from landing. Now once you do land, you want to turn off your engines and allow the torque to completely run down. The Tomahawk will then be refueled, repaired, and your ammunition will be restocked. Now look at my fuel meter, you'll see it starts to get replenished, and my ammunition is then refreshed. Tomahawk was one of the first 2GS games I ever played as a kid, and I've always enjoyed it. Just be forewarned, it's not an easy, and the stiff controls don't help one bit. If you like flight simulators and you have a 2GS, give it a shot. Thanks for watching.